Baruch here with genConnect, joined by Amanda Boxtel and Scott Summit. So, Amanda, take me back to the moment when your accident happened. How did you get through that? How did you persevere, get through that moment to take you to the point you are now?
I was paralyzed 22 years ago, and it didn't happen overnight. It took a long time for me to really have an appreciation and figure out my life. I often say, turn my wounds into wisdom, so to speak, because um, it took 5 years of wanting and yearning to walk again. It took 22 years of a roller coaster journey to really understand the power of acceptance and hope and that interplay, and that acceptance and hope must coexist. So I went on and I learned to live a full life with adaptive technologies that enabled me to learn how to ski again. I had a skiing accident that caused my disability. I learned how to paraglide, to hand cycle, rock climb, and live a really full life, but there was nothing that had been invented that enabled me to learn how to walk again until now, until the creation of this brilliant, amazing new technology. And it helps with my quality of life.
Amanda, you're wearing this incredible device over here, this exoskeleton. I know that Scott over here has developed all of the portions that we're seeing in white using 3D printing.
Yes.
How does this incredible robot change your quality of life day after day?
I'm walking in an Exo from EksoBionics. It's a rehabilitation device. There's about 60, I believe, around the world from that company in particular. But I use it every day to help me feel better. The physical benefits, yeah, do outweigh the psychosocial, but that's really key too. So my digestive system improves, my circulation, my swelling in my ankles go down, so I no longer have cankles. And these are really important things. It's as though I've lifted the veil from my head and I can think clearly. And my neuropathic nerve pain dissipates completely when I walk in this device. Yet, for me to be able to stand here and look at you eye to eye, words can't even describe that. I'm in the tallness of my body that I was born to grow into at 5'7", and here we are talking. So
I guess that makes me 5'7" too.
probably.
I'm saying I'm 5'9".
Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thanks.
So there you go. Hey, one day just as well. I don't have high heels yet on this device because, after all, I'm a girl and I like fashion. I like to buy shoes. And that's what this technology is able to do with the 3D printing. We're able to really create the ultimate fashion statement. That's what the goal is and the end result.
And Scott, as you were developing these white elements using 3D printing, what went into the process? How were you thinking about how Amanda would actually experience your designs?
So yeah, these white parts, they're developed by my team at 3D Systems, specifically a designer named Gustavo Frique. And the idea was to not only blend very fluidly with her body by using her body scan as the underlay to our designs, but we wanted to create designs that were ventilated so her skin would breathe and it would flex the way we wanted it to flex, but also that would really complement her form. So we didn't use kind of robotic visual vernacular. We tried to keep everything very fluid and flowing and natural. We tried to really work with the curves of her body so that it didn't feel oddly juxtaposed against her. It felt almost like an article of clothing instead of a robot that happens to be wrapped around her.
So really an organic experience. Is that right, Amanda?
Yeah, I would say that I was brought into the process, and I mean, typically when, say, someone gets a cast of their fractured arm, it's wrapped in and off they go. But now the consumer or the end user gets to be an integral part or a co-creator of the design process. And I was brought in, and that really empowered me. It made me feel like we were creating something together. It was a collaborative process, and it fits me beautifully. So it's really one with me.
What will the exoskeleton of the future look like, Scott?
This is something that Amanda and I have talked about for as long as we've been working on this project. The whole idea is that technology wants to get more and more transparent, so it's invisibly a part of our life. It gives us the assistance we want without being obtrusive or obnoxiously a part of our experience. So we like to envision the next generation, maybe 10 years out, of an exo being like a snakeskin. And this was Amanda's idea, that you would simply pull it on as though it were a bunch of articulating scales. Now, that's actually building on technology that's already taking shape. That's robotics, nanotechnology, swarm robotics. The idea that you have a bunch of cells that all collaborate together. That is taking shape now. The idea that you can 3D print a complex mesh. We do that all the time. So all of the ingredients are taking shape. It's just we can't do it right now. I like to think maybe that's 10 years out, that being paralyzed becomes an inconvenience, but it's nowhere near the life changer that it currently is, simply because it means that you pull on this outfit, it wraps around you like a second skin, you pull on your clothing over it so no one knows, and then you go about your life. That's the big vision of where 3D printing, nanotechnology, robotics, smart materials and sensors, all those start conspiring and creating something really different and life-changing for the people who need it.
Incredible. And Amanda, I've got to ask you, you're clearly in incredible shape. There's so many people around the world who find excuses for not working out. How do you, with your challenges, work out and stay in such great shape?
That's a really good question. I've been paralyzed for 22 years, and I've made it a point to have really good range of motion and flexibility in my body. I do yoga, physical therapy, but I also stand up and I fully weight bear on my legs, and I've used a standing frame. So there is every reason for someone who is paralyzed or has some type of muscle weakness to prepare their body to walk again, because they can. And there's no excuse. My philosophy is, if you can use it, move it.
I love it. Well, you are truly, truly inspiring, and so are you, Scott. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more with Amanda and Scott, be sure to check out genConnect.